I took the quick flight back to the Los Angeles area and then visiting my friend Alex Thomopoulos up in the Hollywood Hills area. Alex and I met a few years ago, and it's just been so fun getting to see her really kind of all over the country, whether it's New York or Los Angeles or sometimes Nashville, or most recently we got to cook together in Chicago on my book tour stop. And it's just been so fun getting to become better and better friends and get to connect over food. And I especially love her sense of humor. And I love that she takes her hilarious stand-up comedy background and meshes it together with her outlook and perspective on food. She has such an attainable approach to food, but it also looks and tastes so gourmet, but feels super approachable and is incredibly delicious. So I called her and said, will you be on an episode of Feeding Friendships? And flew down to join her in her kitchen today. So we're gonna actually take one of my muffin recipes and kind of put an Alex spin on it. So I stopped by the grocery store. I'm gonna head up and join Alex in her kitchen here in LA. Some of my closest friends have come from connecting online through our businesses and passions. The problem? They're located all around the country. They're actors, authors, business owners, activists, chefs, artists, speakers, and musicians. But the two things they all have in common, they're my friends, and food is their vehicle for gathering their loved ones. Social media, it opens us to a world of new people. And even though there's miles between us, a comforting meal with a soul-filling chat can feed our friendship in no time. So I'm jumping on planes and showing up in their kitchens because cooking is always more fun with friends.
I love to make an entrance. Welcome into my beautiful kitchen.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
I got groceries.
Amazing. I'm excited to bake with you.
Yeah, because you don't bake.
I don't bake.
Do you really not?
No, I'm not a big...
You just don't like it, or do you
I'm not good at it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like you used to bake on... You know where I first found you? Was your YouTube show that you had.
Oh, yeah.
What was it called?
Gluten-free with Alex T.
Gluten-free with Alex T. You had an idea to take my lemon poppy seed muffins, and you said we were gonna grill them, which I've never done before, to toast them, and then you talked about roasting fruit, which I don't ever roast berries. I've roasted like grapes and apples for salads, but I've never roasted berries. So I'm excited about this.
This is gonna be a game changer.
Great.
Okay, first of all,
Yeah.
if you've ever been in New York and you've gone to a traditional Greek diner or a Greek-owned diner,
Yes.
they take these corn muffins, these big corn muffins, they cut them in half
Yeah.
and then they griddle them in like tons of butter.
Okay, we could use ghee. Will that
They are
still toast them? Okay.
Totally. They're so delicious and so good because it's that like counterbalance of like crunchy, and you've got the butter, and then they put like sea salt on top. It is so good. So now I take all my muffins, I cut them in half, and I griddle them.
I love that. And does roasting, so like normally when I roast fruit, I think that it brings out the flavors. Does it make these, is it gonna make it sweeter, less tart, do you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
So all of the natural sugars are going to reduce down
Yeah.
and kind of form this beautiful syrup. I'm gonna add a tiny bit of maple syrup.
Yeah.
And then what I love to do is roast them in olive oil.
Yeah.
People eat it and they don't know what they're
It
eating.
is, yeah, what's in it?
Because you're so used to having a syrup that is just simply sweet.
Yeah, it's all sweet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so the olive oil just adds this beautiful dimension that makes, that makes the syrup really special. And I put this on top of pancakes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it seems like it would be really good on pancakes.
It's delicious on
Okay.
pancakes. I like to add a little bit of sea salt at the end when I'm plating.
Got it.
This is great because you can make the syrup and it will stay in your fridge for a week. You can jar it if you want, or can it.
Yeah.
So just a little bit of maple syrup,
Okay.
like 2 tablespoons.
Yep.
Pop that in the oven.
All right, so muffins are super simple. We'll do them in a food processor.
You know when you open the oven and your necklace gets super hot?
Yes, did it burn you?
Yes.
So I'm gonna do a 1/3 cup of ghee. You can use butter too if you want. Do you mind opening the honey? We'll get started on that. So I do 3/4 cup of honey. This does make like almost 2 dozen muffins. So 3/4 cup of honey is not actually that much with all of that, if we're talking about the sweetness factor. And you could do maple in here too if you'd rather. It doesn't really matter.
So when it comes to grain-free cooking,
Yes.
what do you think, or does it just depend on the baked good of, like what are your favorite flours to use and starches to use?
So I like to do a mix, and it's typically my kind of trio is almond flour, which this brand is like my favorite because it's super finely ground, coconut flour, and then arrowroot powder. I don't always do arrowroot, but more and more lately I have because I love the consistency that it gives. So
I know with gluten-free baking is that it's important to have grains and starch.
Yeah, right. Well, so yes, no grains.
Obviously.
Takes out that doesn't give us an option.
But when you're mimicking when you're mimicking wheat, you need to have some sort of protein, which is probably what you get in
the almond. Yeah. Well, so when I first started, I was just using almond flour, and everything was so dense and oily. And so I started actually looking at gluten-free baking, and I was like, well, there's a reason why all those gluten-free baking mixes have like 10 different flours and starches in it, because they're trying to mimic the properties, that other gluten-filled baked goods do. So I started mixing things, and I think it does help because they all have such like coconut flour is super absorbent. This does give like protein and structure and flavor, but
I actually prefer grain-free cooking just because it don't bloat.
That's what a lot of people say. I think it's like a lot of people get diagnosed with celiac and start eating all that stuff that they never probably ate before.
Right.
Like there's no xanthan gum in a regular baked good because it's not needed, because it's put in there because of the lack of the gluten protein. So yeah, I think they end up feeling worse. I did that too. I was like going to the store and buying anything that was labeled gluten-free, pizza and donuts and like a whole bunch of junk. And I was like, I'm eating worse than I was before I started this.
Totally.
Like way worse.
So I went on this retreat with a bunch of my friends, and there was like a cafeteria, and the chef was she was labeling them as gluten-free rolls. And everybody was like, oh my God, they're gluten-free rolls.
Right.
But I realized that they were just, the traditional, it had yucca flour in it.
Oh, okay.
And yucca flour and cassava flour have the same side effects.
Right.
Where around like the fourth day, everybody's like, have you gone to the bathroom? And I was like, no. I go, that's because y'all are eating these rolls.
Right.
Like they're healthy.
Right. Totally.
Nobody put two and two together, so.
Oh my gosh.
So I like to zest my lemons or my citrus upside down.
I do too. I always feel like I look like I don't know what I'm doing, but I do the exact same thing. Because first of all, you can see how much you've gotten, and you can see when you get to the pit. That's
Yeah, it's
why
easy.
You do it.
Yeah, the same reason.
Okay.
But also, it only gets the outside. It doesn't. You can run it back over, and it won't take the pith off.
Oh, that I actually didn't know that. I always just did it because I wanted to see.
Teaching things every day.
That's why I wanted to know why you do it. I do it because I thought it's because I could see it, and I feel like you can see how much you've got, which I think is helpful. I would just do it all. What did we do? Are we missing anything? Oh, we need some baking soda and some salt. Quarter teaspoon or so of salt.
Okay.
Teaspoon of baking soda. And then 2/3 cup of the almond flour. No, not 2/3. I think it's 3 cups. Yep. 3 cups of almond flour.
She's pondering, not looking at notes. Did you say baking soda?
Yes, baking soda.
Good thing I have it here and labeled.
Labeled, like really, like legit. I just write on mine usually. While it lasted, okay, I'm gonna do like 2 tablespoons of that. Although I probably should have put those in after we food processed.
That's okay.
We'll be all right.
Yeah, poppies are fine.
Okay, let's put up.
Let's kurikata da.
I'm not. Okay, you do it.
Here we go.
Get it. I don't want to, coconut oil will be way better. You could totally just do this with your hands, but this is my,
My hands are clean, I washed them yesterday.
See, I just didn't want to get my fingers greasy. That's the only reason why. Like, we're going to have a great blooper reel. This one. Oh my goodness. All right.
There is a trick if you have a pistachio that's like super close.
Yeah, actually, what is the trick for that? Because I feel like I just waste them.
You take another piece of the pistachio and you get it in there and you twist it.
Look at
And
you.
it pops it open.
Look at you.
I'm full of surprises.
You are. So I would say it's important to let these cool, and you did let that cool a little while too, right? Yeah. And then you want me to slice these?
Yes.
And
We'll
are we
slice
going
them in half.
this way or this way?
Whichever way you want, because there's not really a top to it.
There's not. I'm gonna go like this.
Traditionally, you take the muffin top and you just do the muffin top. And I grew up with these griddled corn muffins because my dad is originally from the Bronx.
Okay.
Greek immigrant family. My grandfather came over, our American story started in a diner in the Bronx.
I love that.
And in the 1930s. So,
Crazy.
and my dad grew up with these beautiful corn muffins being griddled over these like dirty stoves in New York. And then every time we went back to visit, he would take me to these diners, and they're just really nostalgic. Yeah, so what we want to do is kind of get it melty so we can do it in a saucepan with a little bit of water.
Okay, great.
And or if you are a microwave user, which we are not.
It's not even plugged in.
It's not even
I was impressed. I actually use mine for coffee, but that's about it.
Hi, Mr. Panich. You want to come say hello? Come here. We have a guest. Sometimes what I like to do is I'll like take the coconut manna and then I'll take some frozen raspberries or frozen blueberries and I'll pulse them. And you can make a beautiful like fruit
Like
butter.
Like yeah. I was gonna ask, are you gonna sweeten it? You want to sweeten it with anything, or just do it as is?
I think maybe a little maple syrup. That's how you break it. That's how you break a finger. No, that's not my baking cabinet. That's embarrassing. And this one, it's less embarrassing.
All right, there's your jars.
These browned beautifully.
Yes, they did.
And I learned a very interesting statistic, not statistic, but like a thing when you're plating, you always plate in odd numbers because it always makes your eye want more.
Oh, that's
If
interesting.
you plate in even numbers, it kind of is, it makes the dish final.
Yeah.
And this just kind of keeps your eye.
I wouldn't. But I would have always thought to do even so that everybody gets the same amount. 'Cause I'm like a fair
Well, you're a mom.
person.
You're
I'm
a mom.
But that is really interesting, though. I think that's actually a really good point.
And like when I plate, I just like to add movement.
I don't know what that means.
Well,
I'm
I'm
like,
showing you.
Movement,
So I'm
like
putting,
it's falling off of it.
yeah, but I'm also plating different angles, you know?
Yep.
Usually I do these with a little bit of a smaller spoon.
Always kind of wondered how to get that shape. See if it was, again, maybe because of the mom thing, I would probably like throw it in a piping bag and just.
Yeah, totally.
But it wouldn't look nearly that beautiful. I didn't get you, well, the green pistachios. I didn't get you any
It's just-
herbs or anything,
like,
so.
So we're just gonna do.
You know, I was gonna say that when you added the cinnamon,
Yeah,
it gave
you
it a
know-
little bit of an interesting color.
I was trying to add flavor, not really considering.
It's the color, but it looks nice up against the berries. So there you go, at least. You know? Yeah.
We're gonna do
Help
little
you.
dollops.
Okay.
Then you just do like a, you know, the little, well, that just looks like blood now, but we're gonna, it was, well, now I ruined the dish. Here we go, everybody. Look, this is bloody.
It doesn't look bloody. I think you're gonna change the way I eat muffins for forever and ever and ever.
That's the goal.
I'm just so excited for berry season again. We go through
I
them
know.
so fast. Thankfully, in California, you can go to Costco and get like these huge vats because my kids are obsessed with them.
Oh, that's delicious. Yum.
I took too big of a bite.
I'm shocked at how fluffy these muffins are.
They're fluffy, but I'm loving the crispiness on top from the griddle. They're really good.
We make a
Good choice. Good team. Great.
Oh, I'm gonna sit here and eat all of these.